chain guys.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
I also said I also gave them your Telegram like for reference.
Oh
You know,
good. No, not at all.
I also said
You're doing great work, so well, at least it looks like it.
thanks.
What's but I'm always good to you know, the value that I really provide to projects is generally like kind of like getting people excited about them. So I feel like one thing that I'm good at is like hyping people up. And I'm a great recommendation is what I'm trying to say. You know, like it's I can't dev, but I can contribute other things. Hey, Danny. Speaking of another major, speaking of another major contributor who can't really dev but adds so much value. How's it going, Danny?
That's good.
Well, we just started recording, so we are live. I guess we'll start with the same rule. Intentions and distractions, and agenda for the call, which is kind of like intentions. So my intentions are to just like get updates and sync with you guys on what's going on, and maybe get some feedback on illustrations. And then I also should just say that I'm clearly in a room with other conversations going on. So sorry about that distraction. And if they don't stop in a second, I'll just move to another room. But I like my double monitor, so it's tough. I'll pass it to you, Danny.
Yeah, good morning. My only distraction was that noise, and now it's gone. um, yeah, I'm here just to say that I'm back. I'm back on full steam. Climbed out of the deep jungle late last night, through the pouring rain, and now I'm at a sweet little spot up on the mountain with great internet and getting my little space set up and ready to dive back in. So yeah, I guess the other thing I would say is haven't made a lot of changes since last week, except getting into the place where I can make the changes. And who else is on the call? I don't see.
Andrew.
Andrew, great.
Our cadCAD guru.
Awesome. Hi, Andrew.
He is a simulator. Oh, you got any intentions for the call? Distractions, Andrew?
Basically for this call, I just want to say that give my update for like what's going on. It's smoothly progressing, I guess. Yeah, that's all really.
Cool. Then let's get on with the show. Andrew, do you want to go deeper into where you're at, and we can talk about cadCAD for a second?
Sure. If you look at conviction cadCAD 3.ip notebook, I have rewritten the first policy.
Can you send a link to that or something, or is it in? Yeah. Did I already post that link in Telegram?
Let me show.
Because I don't think I'm following that. You can throw it in Telegram.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, Telegram, original, rewritten.
Yeah, rewrite that CV3, man. That thing was just a mess.
It was really interesting to figure out why I felt it was a mess. Because when you kind of look at it, it was actually, oh shit, I sent it to Julia instead.
I'm sure she'll be curious about this as well.
Let's see. Okay, I posted this in the CSD dev channel. So what we have here is that the original, if you scroll down past all the stuff until cell 32, in the partial state update blocks, there is something called driving process. You guys see it? Wait, cadCAD consolidate.
I feel like it wasn't a mess. Like the cadCAD 3, it wasn't a mess. It just was like functional and it showed up, you know, I don't think it was written in a way where it was supposed to be a tutorial or it's supposed to be super clear for other people to use.
Yeah, I figured it out that it was like it's not the functional thing that's a problem. It's the lack of comments and the naming of things, and how the names didn't lend themselves to educating a reader what how this program was supposed to flow.
I mean, we still don't see your screen yet, but yeah, I mean, Zargham's intentions in writing that was to prove the concept. It was a proof of concept simulation for conviction voting to kind of test the dynamics that and understand if the equations that he's playing with actually make sense. And it wasn't meant to be an exploratory thing. It was just supposed to get some results and show some like curious things that are an outcome of more of a signal aggregation voting dynamic, especially alongside a bonding curve.
Yeah. So once I kind of realized that, I was like, hey, there's nothing actually special about object oriented that's going to make it simpler. It's it's like these are two sides of the same coin, and both can be hard to understand and hard to read. But so I found a way. I found out what was making it hard to understand, which was basically the naming and the fact that network that putting proposals and participants into the network was mixed with the same code as like actually generating the stuff that you put in there in the first place. So I rewrote that. So now the driving process is split up into several functions. These are inside network helpers.py. I will post this link. Network helpers.py. It should be there. Wait, what? I did push it. No, I haven't pushed it. Okay, now I have pushed it. So network helpers.py simulation.ipynb. So I put this in the Telegram channel. So this is the rewritten stuff. And now we have two functions that deal just with, so driving process just randomly figures out how to, whether a new participant should come on.
Wait, Andrew,
yeah.
It will be 10x effective if you can share your screen.
Okay, I'll just share my screen. Host disabled participant screen sharing.
Oh, well then, I guess I should allow you to share your screen. It's teamwork here. You should be good now.
Okay. Right, see this?
Oh yeah. Looking good.
So this is the smaller simulation, which will eventually serve
Oh,
as
maybe not. It says, sorry, something went wrong. Do you want to reload?
uh-huh.
That might be just you. I still see it.
Oh, really? Oh, let me refresh somehow.
Wahaha. Now I got the good internet.
Yeah, exactly. You actually see code? Okay, I guess. Weird. I don't know why I don't see any code. I just see. Okay, I guess I have to like try to leave and come back without killing everything.
Mhm.
I'm going to make you the host, Andrew, and I'll be back. Okay, so I see your cursor moving, but I don't see, and
All I see is Andrew now.
Oh, okay. Let me stop the share. Let me share the screen again.
there we go. Now I see some charts.
Yes, good. So the charts prove that it's kind of working as intended. This is this is the simplified conviction cadCAD3, which will serve as the base for that web server backend. Now, let's see. The biggest thing here was driving process. Driving process was quite complex and scary on the original, but I managed to break it down into randomly generate new participant, randomly generate new proposal, randomly generate new funding. And there we go, we use these things. And I changed the randomly generate new participant because before the bonding curve stuff was mixed in here as well. So what I did was I just used, I told it to use the commons object that's useful to figure out how many tokens would this much die buy you. And so this would be the estimated new participant tokens. This one is just there. Well, this one is just there, but it's not used anymore. It was there in the original, and it was actually in the number of tokens. Now, this one is in the number of tokens, and this one is the number of die. I'm not quite sure how to use this random number generator function, but it seems to go from 0 to 500. It seems kind of okay with how people invest, I guess.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. And we might want to tweak that later and connect it to some sort of other variable in the system eventually. But for now, just got to keep going. Because maybe it's like if proposals aren't passing and they're not creating value, then why would new people join? Or like that plus like token number going up or token number going down would probably have some sort of impact on.
Yeah, I need to get to the part where it decides whether new participants are going to join the network or not.
Yeah.
So the driving process decides whether or not these new participants arrive and with how much, and it also decides how much gets added to the funding pool. Is the um, is the exit tribute the only way things get to the funding pool again?
For the simplification of the model, yes.
Okay. Um, yeah. All right. So there we go. It decides whether the funds go there.
So the funds would only go there when people exit. So the driving process is also controlling when people buy in and also when they exit.
No, actually, these things are not to be totally independent.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, the new funding will keep coming in, even if there are more participants coming in, none of them sells in real life. But this thing will still randomly generate new funding.
So then eventually we'll need to change that so that it's
Yes,
connected.
yes.
Yeah.
Because I feel that there will be actually much less funds in the funding pool, really.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So we had the driving process deciding what to do. This passes this to this thing, this function, which actually edits the network, adds the participants, adds the proposals, connects them all together. And then there is this other function that I put in here, which talks to the commons and lets it know about the new things which driving process decided should happen. And yeah, once that is done, this is just basically some housekeeping for cadCAD, and then run the simulation, and people start coming in, token supply starts coming in, and the funding pool starts growing.
To the moon.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this comments, man. Radical exchanges are going to be rich. Dude, there's going to be so many meetups all around the world. We did it. A new economy is born.
Just in time, the other one's dying.
Oh no. Oh no.
So yes, that's where I'm at right now. I've figured that the same code still works. The network still looks the same as in the original. So that's
Amazing, man. And so then what are the next what's your targets for this week?
the target for this week is to get the other one done, which is the second part. I'm not really sure what the second part does yet, actually.
Probably is the voting over how spending money on the funds. So like
Yeah.
the funding pool's got to be used to create value, and that's where things get dicey because that's a feedback mechanism. The idea is that the token price and the actual production of value are going to be signals that need to be fed back into whether people want to join, whether people want to exit, whether people want to buy more, or yeah. And then what gets really fun is when it's like you're also aggregating their voting. So like, okay, you have all of these participants, and each one is randomly liking different proposals or disliking different proposals, and then they're going to vote for them. And there's this like, how does in conviction voting, there's some equations for how the votes aggregate into actually passing proposals, and that's the magic, right? And then that ends up taking funds from the funding pool and putting them in the reserve, right? And then giving tokens to somebody, and then that person has to decide if they want to sell those tokens into the reserve or if they want to keep them, right? So you have this this last one, I think the last half of conviction 3 that you're about to come into is like that piece of the puzzle, but it's this really very, its tentacles are all over the place. So once you get that, the conviction voting in, it's like now that it will start sending feedback loops throughout the code base.
Okay, that sounds kind of scary. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Then you're picking up what I'm putting down.
All right. So yeah, that's it from my side.
Well, this looks great, man. Thank you for putting in the great work, as always. And Danny, I don't know, did you want to talk narrative?
I don't really have a lot of updates to add. I'm gonna dive in after Lorelei's workshop today.
Oh, fun.
And dial in those last couple of sections, get some text in there and do another skinny review, like go through and try to get about a third of the words back out if I can.
Nice.
The dangerous thing is I take about a third out and somehow I end up adding another 2/3, but I'll try not to do that.
It's easy to do. It's easy to do because there's so much to be said. Well,
yeah,
cool.
but I feel, I just feel like I got it pretty well cleaned up. Jeff gave me some comments too, so I'll work on reviewing that and getting that dialed in and put some. I saw the feedback from others on the illustrations. Do you think it would be strange? What I have a few like sample images that I like. It's easier for me to show another example of work than use words to explain. I think.
I think that you should absolutely take charge in working with Illustrator. Es una oportunidad para practicar tu español también.
Yeah. Sí.
Claro. And she will absolutely love it if you gave her a sample illustration. Oh my God, she is so cool. She is so cool. Yeah.
Sweet.
The language barrier is the only challenge. Working with her has been a dream.
Okay, good. Yeah.
And she would love it if we gave more input. She's like kind of flaring in the wind. So she'll be so excited to work with you. And just go into the chat room I created around the narrative, which I should,
the new one.
Yeah, I should add Andrew in there too. It should just be the common simulator specific, like boring stuff. I don't know. I always get scared about like taking too much away from the DDev channel in the chat room, because it's nice that there's like something happening in that channel. But it doesn't have to be like all the details about everything.
Yeah, totally. So what does make sense is just to say, hey, I updated some things over in the RxC narrative chat.
Yeah.
Go check it out.
Yeah, and especially if you and her want to coordinate around things, making a call, or you know, you want to do something that maybe it's not going to happen, but you feel more comfortable saying this, you know. Anyway.
Yeah, no, that's good. I'll definitely connect with her this week and get some. I actually just requested of an artist if I could use her work as a sample, and she just told me yes this morning.
Okay, great. Yeah, and you know, what I really want from our illustrations, because I think it'll help your narrative, like everything feeds into each other. It'd be great if we could get just the sketches of all the pictures before any more finished ones come out.
That's a great idea. Yeah. And let's get the sketches dialed in, because the sketches should really be telling a little bit more of a story, was the other piece of the feedback that I had. Like, besides just being an image of what we talked about in the words, there's ways we can cut down the words by putting something into the illustration. So that's what I want to look at too.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like the one where she has the resources and the arrows between them. Well, I mean,
we can do something way better there.
We can do something better. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it does what you're saying at the same time, where it's like, okay, here is something that will help us use less words in the text.
Exactly.
Cool. So Yeah, so yeah, oh my God, I really hope. Oh, and Danny, did you put hours in Juliet's spreadsheet?
I did for the previous week where I only put in a couple hours, but I didn't put this last Sunday's in yet.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think we might be running
I don't think
into
I
a new-
don't I don't think that the week that I've worked on this pretty heavily is, I think that's the next spreadsheet or
Okay.
the next
I want to say
section.
that that is now today. Let me see. Like we just hit the end of
Oh yeah.
I think we did.
Oh,
Yeah, time flies, right?
no kidding.
Let me just
Yeah, and
see.
I'm gonna be in Giveth quite a bit this week in between that too. Something weird going on with my common step master.
Yep. Yeah, we have ooh, okay. Well, that's exciting.
I know, right? Ooh,
yeah.
a problem. Let's fix it.
Yeah, exactly. This is I just like playing fetch. This is all I do, you know. So that's really easy for me. Just I don't have any solutions for the craziness in the world, but if you can just give me something small that I can solve, I'll be so happy.
All right. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, both of you guys need to put in hours for the last 2 weeks as well.
Okay.
So I do see now I can pay the one from last 2 weeks ago because hours are in. But now this round, I know, Andrew, you put in a lot of work in the last 2 weeks. And Danny, so did you. So let's get that. Well, cool. But if that's it, then we can just call it good. Unless you guys have it. And if you need anything from me, this week's going to be hard because Dow Rush Week, I literally have, we have an event every day and 2 on Friday. So it's kind of wild. But, you know, I'm still always there for you guys. And if you need anything, please give me the opportunity.
Okay.
Okay.
Have fun this week. I'll probably be on a bunch of those calls. I'm going to do Lorelai's here in a little bit.
Fun. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
cool. Well then,
Okay. Thanks,
love
guys.
you guys. Bye. See if I can figure out how to end this stream. Oh,